Tammy. Oh, the show went so good. Oh my gosh. We had so much fun. There were so many Angoras. I I was completely exhausted by the time I pulled in home. Thank goodness the husband helped me unload. But Friday night, there was mostly giants. Some of the other gals weren't showing up until Saturday. But Saturday's the big day. We have the 3 shows plus the Angora specialty show. And I've got to tell you, years ago, it seemed just like yesterday, but it wasn't. I was the only giant Angora breeder. So it's like the girls would tease me when I take my giants up to the show table in front of the judge and we do the whole thing, and I'd come back, put them in their little travel carriers, and they'd ask me, well, how'd you do? Did you win? I said, yes. It was kind of a fake enthusiastic yes, because I was the only breeder. But I tell you what, those girls are kicking my butt. It's awesome. They got Hope is one of the newest to the showing crowd, and she's from up north, and she's right on the Canadian border. So she comes quite a ways because Stevenson is southern Washington. I think she told me it's a 6-hour drive for her, but she's been showing giants for about a year now. And she showed me one of her does when she first came up, and she's been working her little tail off on that show coat. And it showed. I was shaking in my boots. I've been working really hard to get Giggles up to snuff. Of course, his coat is probably too much right now. But sometimes if it's still in condition and the top was really good and he had good density and he's eating still, so his condition is really nice. So I thought he had a good chance of doing really well. But holy cannoli, Hope, yeah. And Renee, good lordy, that chick is kicking my butt too. She's got some really gorgeous giants. When I would look up at the show table and see all those colored giants, and all of them are stunning. I am just overwhelmed with excitement. I'm proud. I'm so I don't know. I'm just overwhelmed. We had so much fun, and we had a new gal come up towards the later end of the day. Her and her daughter. I think they have a giant, and they want a couple more. I think, but they're going to start showing. Yeah, and I talked to another gal that got her first giant from, I think it was Renee. She's coating it out for West Coast Classic, like so many of us are. And so she's been showing other rabbits with her friends, but this is her first giant. So we're getting a lot of new people. And with the stock that Hope and Renee are producing, I am extremely enthusiastic for the future of our giant Angoras, you guys. It's never been so bright. I'm yeah. And then I brought a few Frenchies that I kind of helped fill the legs for some of the other gals, and they were supposed to be leg fillers, but they did really good. My little fawn gal, she specifically, Buttercream, I was going to sell her, but I thought, no, I'll sell some of the others that are really good, because I don't want to sell something that I don't want to keep myself. But then there's a few that are really good and I really want to keep myself. And Buttercream was one. She's only a quarter giant. She's mostly French and she looks Frenchy, so she showed as a Frenchie. Clean ears, clean feet. And she's a fawn, and she's a bright colored, she almost glows. She's so bright fawn, and her ears are clean. So I know it's the chocolate base, and those black based fawns, sometimes they call them smut ears where the tips of the ears is just a little bit darker. I don't know if it's a ding. I'd have to look it up in the SOP. But when they're really bright, they're just gorgeous. So I'm holding on to Buttercream. I'll show her as a French just for fun. She happened to win Best of Breed like twice. And then Reserve and Show in our specialty at the end of the day. Yeah. And Renee won Best in Show with her Giant at the end of the day. It was a toss-up all day long. All of those seniors between Hope's and Renee's and mine, the judges had a really, really hard time picking the best. So that we're doing things right. I'm pretty tickled. Yeah, overall. Even my black little boy, my Frenchie, he didn't have near the density as Buttercream, but he's got the foundation, and he had a long coat, and it's still his baby coat, but and he got best of opposite pretty near consistently. I don't know if he got it in every show, but of course there's only a few boys, but he still did really good. I'm jazzed. So yeah, Friday and Saturday was a huge success. My poor little English, Mr. Alexander the Great. I tried to clean him up, and he's just molting. And I've been pulling out the fur like crazy, even as gentle as I'm trying to be. So he showed, but and yeah, he was the only English, so he got Best of Breed. Yay! That's one of those fake yays, but he's going to get sheared. He's going to be retired for a few months, and yeah, maybe later this fall he'll show his face again as a filler or whatnot, because he's such a sweet boy and he has such a beautiful coat when I take good care of him. So I think we're going to shear him soon and start over because he's a good boy. So yeah, just a few quick announcements. I guess it's about time. Yeah, it's 10:05. If you don't mind, I'm just going to get with it here. Yeah, Saturday, our Stevenson show was a huge success. We had a lot of fun, a lot of great giants, of course, and satins and Frenchies too. I can't forget those. And my solo little English. But I do want to remind everybody that the National Angora show that's coming up in May is going to be held in Reno. And of course, our group, along with all the other Western States Angora people, we're calling ourselves the Western States Angora Collective. We're pulling our resources together to put on and host this fabulous show, because West Coast Classic alone is a lot. But when you add on to that with a national show where a lot of people from the East Coast, Midwest, everywhere, they come and join us, it's incredible. So if you can make it, you got to be there. And one of the things we're going to do, of course, is put on the wool skein and garment contest. Anybody can enter. You don't even have to be a member of NARBC. You can win great prizes. You can showcase your Angora things that you make, anything from raw wool, clipped off right the rabbit, or plucked, depending on your rabbit. And we have both what is it called? The sample, which is, I'll have to check the rules just to make sure, but I think it's just a minute amount. And there's a certain way you need to wrap it and package it. And we have a video on showing you how to do that. Or you can save the whole fleece and enter the whole fleece in the contest. And then there's skeins. That's a whole category on itself and subcategories. And then garments. Yeah, so if you have something that you've been working on, or even some really nice wool that you want to showcase, bring it to West Coast Classic. Get it to me and I'll get it there. And there, all the rules and everything is going to be on NARBC's website. And of course, we're getting ready to publish NARBC's newest newsletter and of course the show guide, and all the information will be listed there. And if you ever are interested in participating in the wool skein and garment contests, and you're a little intimidated, you're not sure where to go, what to do, or you just want to share what you're working on and boast a little bit or help somebody else, we have a WhatsApp group, and I'll share that link down below, where it's open to everybody and we can share our love for Angoras and the things that we make. And if you have any questions at all, join us there. That's the easiest way to get any of your questions answered in our WhatsApp group. And there's a subcategory just for wool skein and garment contests. And then Sunday, man, I was so tired. We fed and watered the rabbits again, but then I found out there was a fiber festival right there in Hermiston, Oregon, Purlside Fiber Fest. And it's like, holy cow, they're less than an hour from me, so I had to go. I had to check it out. I might even been there next year. I was talking to the gal. So I drugged the husband. He was very patient with me when we went through all the vendor booths and whatnot. And I had to get me a new bag. You can't go to these things without getting a bag, right? Of course, I had my bag, but it was full of knitting stuff. So I had to get a brand new bag and fill it up. And I got some yarn, some hand spun yarn. This is merino wool, bamboo, and silk. I've got about 500 yards of this hand spun. It just feels so dreamy. And who did that? This gal is right in Kennewick. I feel like they're pretty near neighbors to me. So it's like, gosh. Yeah, Debbie's Fiber Fun. Let me see if everything's going to be backwards. One of these days, I'm going to get techy savvy enough to know how to fix that. But that's Debbie's Fun. There were so many. And then, gosh, I like fuzzy yarn, right? This is not Angora, but it was dyed by Coven Collective. And this is called English Rose. It's lace weight mohair and silk. Oh my gosh. So I got these two colors. And guess what I think I'll do? I'll hold a strand of the fuzzy mohair with this hand spun and do some kind of stripey something. I don't know. And these are how many yards? Oh my God. 450 yards in just one of these. So I'm going to have plenty. More than enough. And then, oh my gosh. Jazzberry Jam. She's out of Tacoma. This is what it... Jada who? Jadawoo. I was talking to her, and the sweet little gal. I'm a little clueless, but what does your name mean? And she told me the short story that when she was in track, and she had a nickname, and then Jada. And when one of her first names that she used for her dyeing yarn business was Jada Dye, but it sounded kind of like, she wanted something more positive. Dye. Yeah. So she went, woo! That's what she'd tell herself to get excited. Woo! It's like, God, I can relate to that because I try to get my coffee on and I try to woo-hoo myself to get excited. And you kind of have to tell yourself, I do at my age anyway. So I'm like, dang, I like that name. And I had, if you see the sparkle, and it's a sparkle little base. So this pink stuff, I don't know what I'm going to use it in, but I think there's a theme, right? I think, I don't know. It's like what I try to do when I have this shawl pattern that it's willy-nilly. It's kind of a crescent shawl. And I grab a great big 2-gallon Ziploc baggie and I go to my stash and I set up, I have several tubs and I was like, okay, who wants to come and play together? So I put some together and this was kind of fun going to a Fiber Fest. I haven't been to one for quite a while and everything just kind of matched. I don't know how that worked. And then we found this other gal that she has some ballet, black nose sheep, and some other stuff, Suryabakas too. But she has the most ingenious washcloths, you guys. I'm like, and it's a wool sponge. She says she uses it to do her dishes in the shower. These people are so clever. I love going to these things and learning more stuff. Here's my, and I had to get another bag, and it was little llama. Oh my gosh. And who made this? Knitted Niceties. That's their business card. Oh my gosh. That is so cute. There were so many project bags. And I have a lot of project bags and I don't need any more, but why not, right? And then I saw this little gal selling some tins, like those Altoid tins. And years ago, I was saving those tins thinking I was going to use them for little notions, not paint them and do something. I've been saving them for like 10 years. Now if I can find the bag. But I thought, and she made these little inserts. So I had to buy some inserts. I bought 4 of these inserts. So what I'm going to do is hopefully make some awards for Best of Breed awards or something for one of our funny shows. And then I can you tell this is for me? I'm going to make one for me. I'm on a pink kick. And I'm wearing my pink t-shirt, sweatshirt. And this kind of leads into my other announcement that I wanted to remind people. We have a basket contest fundraiser for NARBC coming up at West Coast Classic. We're calling it the Wool Raiser Angora Fundraising Showdown, because what it entails is groups of 3 to 5, and those numbers can be variable. You can have 1 or 20 people pull together and make a basket. And the basket is not literal, but it's a group of items that we're going to auction off. The whole basket or group of items needs to have a value of at least $100. And then about a month before the event, we're going to have an online auction through 32 auctions. And then the night of, after our show, it'd be Saturday night, everybody that's in person will have a chance to have the final bid. And our auctioneer is Ariane. She's going to be our official auctioneer. So I'm busy recruiting teams, you guys. If you haven't selected your team yet, let's get it going. Yeah. Because I bought the first item that's going to go in my team's basket. Isn't this adorable? Oh my God. Handmade by Hope. And I don't have her business card. I'm going to have to go back on the website and get her business card because you need that information, right? But it has little black sheep and little white sheep and little hand painted mug. I thought that was just cute. So that's the beginning of my team's basket. Whoever's going to be lucky enough to join me in our basket. And the night that we have the final auction, the team that earns the most money for NARBC was going to get a really awesome surprise award. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be awesome. So we're going to kind of use the energy of like a little competition because we are in competition always. Who's going to beat who's other rabbits, right? When we're showing. So this would be kind of a fun way, competition, and we're still earning money for our club too. And all the details will be out in the new newsletter that's going to be out any day now. So that was my Sunday. So all my plans to get something done on Sunday didn't happen. But I did run across so many people. It was a great networking opportunity. And the third item that I wanted to remind people, the first, which was yesterday, was the deadline to enter in our logo contest. We're looking for a logo for NARBC for our convention show that's coming up this fall. So we wanted a concept drawing and some idea and some samples of your previous work by yesterday, but we're going to extend that at least through this weekend because I've only got one entry. So I'm going to, if anybody's on the fence, you've been thinking about entering, do it. And if you want the information and you're curious about the details, I can forward you the information. And I'll try to put a link in this video. And I should have this video published tomorrow. It takes about 24 hours to publish my live. Yeah, so that's it for my announcements and all my jibber jabbering. I'm going to get right down to the bunnies and get to work. I don't know if some of you watched me last week. I said I was going to shear a whole litter of babies because they were chewing on each other. And my plan A was going to do that day. And that didn't happen. So I'm going to do it today. I sheared one already. And unfortunately, he was the only chestnut in my entire litter. And I say unfortunate because he seems to have some congestion, a runny nose, and that is not good in our baby rabbits, adult rabbits. So he's quarantined. I might be doctoring up him and evaluating him later. But none of the other kits are showing signs, so I wanted to keep him separate. So he's all by himself. And he's been sheared already, so I need to, as soon as we're done here today, I'll get him a little nesting box so he can jump in and a bunch of hay and he can keep himself warm because he won't have any siblings or anybody to snuggle with. But they're almost 2 months old. They were born. When were they born? I wrote it down here. They were born the first week in January. So this is the first week of March. So they are almost 2 months old and they're eating really good. And so these guys are almost ready to be separated. So how about if I'm going to move my little camera up? I've got all my stuff ready to go. I'm going to move my coffee mug back here so you can see me getting some of these bunnies naked. Yes. Hi. Hi. I trimmed their toenails last time. So the only thing I'm going to do is go right up behind the neck, their back, and the sides. I'm not going to do anything on their bellies. They can keep that for now. It's starting to get warm here in Roosevelt. I think we were going to get up to the 50s today and all week. And I'm not even worried about second cuts. God. I was looking at my notes from last time I looked at them last week, that these guys were kind of flat, and boy is she. Canoling. Yes. Oh, sweetheart. So they're not really show contenders, but we're going to see if we can get at least one good coat, maybe. I don't know. And if we do, at least you'll have a good start. See all these second cuts. I'm not going to worry about. It's all going to go in one pile. Now, what am I going to do with these second cuts? I hope you can hear me, you guys. If I'm just talking to myself, that'd be a bummer. I usually am so methodical and I test my mic and stuff, and I didn't this morning. I barely had time to get my coffee and get stuff together, and I tested my shears. Now, see, all this stuff is really short. It's like an inch. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, it's little. It might be an inch and a half. I'm still not going to throw it away. I'm still not. Because there's a couple of things that you can use it for. It's not prime for, definitely not in a mill run for yarn. For commercial spinning, that's a definitely no-go. See, and I'm doing some second cuts here because I want a nice, even coat to grow out. But there is a method that I learned from Judith McKenzie years ago, and she called it the encasement. And I'm wondering, I'll just show you this book real quick. It's probably backwards. Again, I apologize. Rare and Luxury Fibers by Miss Judith McKenzie. And in there, what I'm talking about is encasement yarn. So you'll have to get the book, learn how to do that. But it's pretty awesome. She taught us with possum yarn. It was possum yarn, possum wool that was hand plucked off of dead animals from someplace like New Zealand. I can't remember, but she was charging like $14, I think, somewhere around there for a half an ounce. And she gave us one packet for free to use during a class, I think. But if we wanted more, we had to pay the... And like Angora prime usually goes for $15 an ounce. So it was twice as much. And it was shorter than this guy's wool. Very short. Very short. But what we did is we used 2 strands. And back then it was Henry's Attic manufacturer, but they don't carry this yarn anymore. But it was a single ply of merino on a cone, and we were able to use that, and we had 2 of them. And as we were hand spinning, we would fluff this up and we card it into little clouds and encase it between the 2 strands as we were spinning. We made a mess because, oh, don't chew on my baggie, sweetheart. Yeah, we made a mess. Because as you're spinning, some of the pieces are so short, they don't get entrapped. So it's all over your lap, all over the floor. But a lot of it does get entrapped. And then you made 2 or 3 plies of that, and you plied it together. And then you felted it. And that was kind of the birth of my idea from, I digress, you guys. If you've heard me talk about my beautiful yarn, where it's felted. And it's the same kind of thing. And it was pretty cool yarn. It was kind of amazing because I had a bunch of Angora for sale, so I traded. A bunch of gals, they did not like that possum. But I loved it. It was different, unique. And I had, and I still have plenty of Angora. So that's all I'm going to do with this guy. I might look at his belly. And I think last time I checked, I didn't have my little scissors. So here's my little scissors. Hi, sweetheart. Yep, you're still a boy. That's one thing I wanted to look. I was kind of shocked that at first look, I think I had a litter of all boys. That doesn't happen very often. It does, but Mother Nature does what they're going to do, right? He's not too bad. He's not too bad. And all your toenails are still pretty good. Because last time, all I did is I took the very, very tips off so they weren't quite as deadly. Now that dirty bits off his little behind there, I'm going to just throw away. We don't want that. But all this other stuff I'm going to keep. So one down, 5 more to go. 5 more to go. This is a fawn. Yep. So it's your turn to get naked. And I'm just going to throw all my colors together because this I'm considering thirds. Third quality. And I keep all my thirds separate from my seconds and prime, of course. So besides spinning encasement yarn and beautiful yarn, which is felted, you can felt this. Hope this weekend was showing me this beginnings of a shawl, 100% hand needle felted of all her thirds and seconds. It was beautiful. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was pretty creative. She's kind of like me. You hate to throw anything away. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't throw anything away. So, yeah. I wonder if that beeping came back through. I forgot to turn my notifications off on my phone, which is recording my video right now. My husband sent me a message. I purposely timed my lives so my husband is out of my hair at this time. Don't get me wrong, I love him, and he's pretty darn handy, and he's pretty darn cute, so I'm going to keep him. But when he's around the homestead, he is always busy. And I can't have, it's hard to have time to focus on something like a live YouTube. So I'm just going to get all the way down to the base of the tail. Just quick. These guys are being pretty calm, actually, so far. Sometimes babies are a little more energetic. Oh, now that I see something, you're going to move, huh? So as I shear, the thing that I try to tell people is, I should turn that off. It's making noise. If you see the shears, you can see the video, this little bevel right here, it's not very long. And then this part here, you want even with the skin. So I'm trying to hold the shears at an angle. So that piece right here is flush with the skin. If I have it too angled up here, you have a chance of cutting the skin. So, and sometimes, especially on the older ones, you might have to push down on the skin to have it nice and taut. That'll help get a nice clean cut. But these youngsters, they have nice tight skin, so it's not much of an issue at all. Not much of an issue. Some of my older girls, I might have to help them a little bit, but I'm not too worried about how far I go down. The biggest thing is the top and the sides. All right, sweetheart. And I'm going to keep the furnishings. It's not that big a deal. I could trim their furnishings. Because actually the adults, I do in between shearings, but I definitely want to get behind the neck. I'm trying to be careful not to get it at too much of an angle because I don't want to trim their little skin back there. See how quick and easy that was? Oh, you're a sweetheart. Now I'm going to clean him up just a little bit. All these second pieces. Yep. And then we're going to check and see if you're a boy. Oh, my husband's trying to call me. I'm going to ignore him. I only have a few more minutes. I hope he's not stuck somewhere. Wouldn't that be awful? But he's a boy too. Yep. This stuff is going to go in the garbage. We don't need that poopy stuff. You get so much Angora. We don't need all of that stuff. Even though I'm a hoarder. I'm a hoarder. I admit it. And I don't think there's a thing as too much sanitary trimming around the little hoo-haws down here. You can't do too much. Nope, nope. Bunnies are comfortable. You're comfortable. Judges, when they get to see them, they can have, yes, not good. Old lady disease. Yeah. Oh, you're a boy. I forgot if I checked. You're a boy. 2 done. 2 done. Yeah. You guys are so sweet. Oh, okay. Can I do you? Can I get you naked? Yeah. And just a little show tip I shared with a gal too, because she's throwing out her first giant for West Coast Classic. But this is a tip for those serious showers. If you have a specific show that you're holding out for, like West Coast Classic, it's the second weekend in May. This is a tried and true thing I've done for years, and it works. 2 months before show day, I sheared the whole belly from the armpit to armpit, all along the nipple line down to their crotch area, their little hoo-haws, and around their tail. And I leave the top and sides, kind of opposite of what I'm doing here. Actually, the complete opposite. I don't trim their dewlap though, because that doesn't grow near as fast for some reason. I might thin it down, and especially under the armpit area. But I trim their whole belly, just like this, right to the skin. And 2 months is just about the perfect mark for it to grow 2 inches, because giants will grow as much fiber on their bellies as they do on top. Now, I'm no expert with the Frenchies. I dabble with them a little bit. Honey, I want to do this side. Is that okay? And I've only had satins in my barn for a very short time. And with my limited experience, I'm going to go out on the limb and say that those two do not grow as much density on their belly. They just don't. If they even need trimmed at all, I'll have to ask some of my fellow breeders. Some of my Frenchies, they're like, yeah, they're not bald, but they're just naturally thinner. They might need brushed and thinned down, especially under the armpit and treble areas like that. And the dewlap sometimes gets matty. But yeah. So I trimmed their whole belly 2 months before show date. And it grows 2 whole inches. So by the time the show date comes, it's indistinguishable. The only challenge you'll have is that cut line. So imagine this is your cut line. And on your belly, it's going to be just the opposite, right? You have a bald belly and long fur up here, but you get the drift. This cut line will be exposed, and it will felt quite often, like overnight sometimes. So you'll need to get out a little brush and hand separate them and demat it. But it's so close to your belly, that line down here, it doesn't matter. Just keep it cleaned up. The thing you don't want it to do is felt rock solid. So it's going to take some work. Show coats are work. It's not an easy thing. So when you see people with those huge show coats, that is a lot of work. The bunny and the exhibitor. For months. not just a few weeks. Trying to get his ears. I am kind of doing it a little much of an angle there, but I'm trying not to. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll try to answer them as we go. We're going to try to clean this up. See if we can't get all you kids cheer today. Now I have a little bit of ridge line here, so I'm going to do that. No, close enough. What do you think, baby? What do you think? Is there a little more we can do here? We could probably do a little more. Are you going to hold still for me? Now, in the next week or so, I'll have the husband out with me and we'll evaluate these guys. And let's trim your little hoo-ha just up a little bit. Because you guys aren't bad, but these are just little dirty bits. Mom is slacking. Plus, I wormed everybody, so they were... everybody had a little bit of loosey-goosey there for a little bit. But it's not too bad. Yep. That's garbage. We don't need those in our pile. Okay, we got 3 done. Holy cow. Holy cow. This is my little chocolate. Oh, I love chocolate. Oh my gosh. You guys do know that we have chocolate goodies coming. Not me, but a friend of mine has chocolate goodie COD, and they're coming to West Coast Classic for their official exhibit. So that's one of the first things they need to do when you take out a COD is after you file the paperwork, and I think it's $100 application fee to ARBA, but you need to take a certain amount. I think it's 12. I'll have to look. They changed things since I've done it. To either a national show, Angora National Show, or an ARBA convention, one of the two. And there's a time constraint that you have to do it within a certain time period of your application fee, time you did your application. So the general membership of NARBC can walk by and Google at them and say, oh, aren't they pretty? And then shortly after that exhibit, our secretary of NARBC will send out a ballot to all the members for them to return in the mail to vote. Someday we'll be going electronic voting, but for right now, last I heard, it's still paper. But then once we get the official okie dokie from the entire membership, then they'll get on the schedule to show at their presentation. Okay. I felt some other goopers I was going to clean up, but it's not that big a deal. Oh, there it is. I had it cut, but it just didn't come loose. There we go. Oh, shall we check and see if you're a boy too? He's got the busy back. Oh, yeah, I think you're still a boy. God. Okay, we're going to get you naked, mister. There's a little bit of poop there, too. We're going to just trim that off. And did I grab some paper towels? Yep. Thank goodness. I usually have some hand sanitizer, but I don't have any in here. But we're going to make do. Because we can do that. Come here, sweetheart. Yep, you're going to get your top side naked too. Is that okay? No, Mr. Man. No. God. Oh, yeah. It seems like, I don't know, if I start somewhere in the back, so I'm not starting up right by the head, he gets accustomed to the noise and the feel. It's like, okay, it's not that bad. It's weird that it's not, you're not hurting me. I'm not going to freak out. And then by the time I do get up closer to the head, he's not as likely to move away. I was going to do an experiment years ago, and I don't know what happened to that. But when I had kits this age, I was going to shear one whole side, like once a week for several weeks in a row, and then let both sides grow out. I never did that. Why didn't I do that? Must have been one of those things where life happens, because life gets in the way. That's why I usually have plan A, and sometimes you move on to plan B and C. I don't like my plan A was to have you sheared already. I know. We wanted it done last week. But we'll get her done today. And you'll be so pretty. Yes, you will. It's like, oh. I got all the way down to the tail. Now I'm just going to try to do the shoulder area. Okay, Mr. Fast Pants. Oh, I'm going to try to make some encasement yarn out of all of you guys. Wouldn't that be pretty? And I'll just kind of blend all the colors together. So I have black and fawn. Mostly black. Because there's 3 blacks in this litter. Now, just FYI, if I was strictly wool production, and I'm not, I'm a hardcore shower. I like to show. But if these guys, all of my litters were only for wool production, I would normally do this without hesitation. But it's going to take 3 months for a show coat to come back, 4 to 5 months to be competitive. And there's many times that I don't want to wait that long. Mike Giggles, when you saw his video being blown out, that's his baby coat. He has never been sheared. And he's nearly a year old. Look at that. And the brush I'm using on these guys is my softest one. It has little rubber tips on the ends. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Yep. My other two brushes don't have that plastic tip, so it's a little rougher. Rougher on the little delicate naked backside there when I do this. You're a little rough on the top side. Do I need to even that out? What do you think? Oh, you're not bad. That is so minute. We're going to let it go. You're close enough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 done. You're the last one because I already did my chestnut. He's in solitary confinement because of a runny nose. Dang it anyway. It could be allergies. It's hard telling. Could be. Well, they haven't had any hay for a long time, so I don't think it's hay dust or anything. So we'll keep an eye on him. But if it is contagious, I wanted to get him secluded from everybody else. We don't want to spread anything. So what I'll do with him from here on out is he'll be in quarantine, separate area from the entire barn. And when I feed and water, I'll feed and water everybody else, and then he'll be last before I go into the house. Right, hold on. This is encouraging, you guys. Last week, I didn't see any furnishings. Well, am I seeing things? Maybe it's just the fur I have in my hands. Oh, it's going to take a couple more weeks. We'll see. We were looking for giant furnishings on those ears. We'll see. We'll just have patience. We'll see. But so far, I'm not impressed with any of your bodies. Your cousins are better. Yeah, we'll just see. Your mom's a good mom. She's taking good care of all of you. And she's not aggressive at all. Miss Rapturous, she's just a sweetheart. But she's a little on the smaller side. She's not one of my bigger girls. Yeah. She's an F2, So that means you guys are F3s because your baby daddy is cheerful. And he's a purebred. So we'll see what happens here with you guys. But at least your top side will be nice and even, and you'll have a great start to that show coat, if that's what we want to do. Yep. And if it's not a show coat, then I'll have at least my first production coat out of you. And they'll be what? They're 2 months old almost. 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 months old when they'll have their next haircut. And that'll be really, really a really nice coat. That'll still be considered a junior coat. Oh, yep. It'd be a junior coat, but not a baby coat. Minute difference, but there is a difference. Very minute. Oh, your shoulders are just a little. You need a little bit more. Not that anybody's going to complain about your haircut today, are they? No, no. I don't. Yeah. A little bit more on the side, just a little bit. Are you going to hold still for me? And did we check your sex? You're not good. I think we did. I don't know. Nope, maybe not. Because you're still kind of goobered down here. We need to clean you up. Oh, yeah. Still a boy. Oh, boys. Yep. Well, I'll be double checking their sexes every time they're on my table. And we'll probably tattoo them here in a week or so. Probably more closer to 2 weeks, maybe. So they're well over 2 months old. But things are looking like all boys in you guys. Yeah. All boys. And see, I'm not happy with the white spotting on his nose. All the blacks have that. So if I was to keep any one of these, they'd be for woolers only. I wouldn't want to breed any of these. For number one, the spotting. I don't even know if I can call it spotting. Can I call that spotting? Because if you think of white spotting, I have had serious white spotting where a whole foot is white or a half a foot is white. Or you see those colored rabbits with a white nose or a white mane. I mean, it's there's no get arounding it. This is just. Are you going to let me do this? I know, you're just excitable. I'll try to do a close-up, maybe. But you can see there's white hairs. And I think, you guys correct me if there's somebody that knows out there, but I think if we have just a little bit of white on the lip, it could be passable, but this up here is too much. It's a no-go. Not for a black. If somebody wanted to work on the black COD, I don't think that's what they would want. And there is a few white hairs on the mane here, but that nose. Yes, you're a cute little nose. Yeah, so he'd be a wooler quality at the very most. All of these guys would. Yes. Alrighty, well, holy cow, you guys, guess what? That's my last one I had to shear. And it's right up 11 o'clock. Holy cow. So I'm going to log off of here. I'm going to call my husband, see if he answers, see if he needed me or if he just missed me. I'm sure he does. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No. If you have a logo design and you're on the fence, get it in. The information I'll have in the description. If you have a wool, skein, and garment item you're on the fence, you want to play, you're not sure what it's all about, contact me. I'll send you the link, get on WhatsApp, and we'll have fun together. We'll learn together. Even if you enter or not, doesn't matter. But get on WhatsApp and join me. Oh, and the contest. Let's earn some money for NARBC. It's kind of fun. Gather your teams. Let's put our little baskets together. And let's see who wins for the most earned basket, you guys. I'm kind of excited. This will be fun. Ariane was our auctioneer for our sticker. It was kind of a dress rehearsal, and it went extremely well. So the software with 32 auctions going from the online to live auction went really well. The only hang up we had was me. And that was because we were trying to do our live via Zoom, but that was a techie thing. But our live is going to be live in person. So if you can't be at West Coast Classic and you have one of our basket items that you really, really want and you bid on it, find somebody that's going to be there. They can be your proxy. Yeah, there's a way around that. Just tell us how much you want to spend. What's your max? My husband is the auction person. He tells me people do that at Animal and other auctions all the time. They have proxies and they say, hey, for this tractor, I'm willing to spend $3,000. So you can run up the bid up to $3,000. That's as much as I want. So yeah, we can be your proxy for you. Let us know. And you guys have a great day. Have a great week. It's only Monday. The sun is shining here. I hope it's shiny where you're at. And you have a great day. Bye.